In this last video, I'm going to just discuss the bacterial shapes, arrangements, and sizes. So bacteria are typically either a spherical shape, a rod-shaped, or a curved or spiral-shaped. If they're a spherical shaped, we call them coccus. If they're rod-shaped, they're bacillus. And if they're curved or spiral shaped, we call them spirillum. So if you look under here, you can see that this is a coccus. It's a round sphere. This is a chain of them all together. Here is a rod shape. This is a good bacillus. These are two connected here, but this is one individual cell and another individual cell. And then these are spirillum here. So they look like corkscrews or spirals. Now, sometimes they can be in between, so we call it coccobacillus when they're sort of short, fat rods. That's E. coli is an example of that, and you'll see in the lab the difference between a real true bacillus and then the E. coli, which is a little bit shorter and rounder. A Vibrio is a curved cell. Okay, so we have their shape, so we describe them by these generic terms. But then we also have ways in which they arrange themselves. And so the only two terms I really want you to know are strepto and staphylo. Streptococcus, or strepto means that it's in a chain. Staphylo means that it's in bunches, like grape bunches. So you can see here, this is a strain of or a chain of coccus bacteria. So that is a streptococcus, we call it, where this is a cluster, so we call it staphylococcus. Now the names originally, they were grouped because of what they looked like underneath the microscope. So we've talked about Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus pyogenes when we've gone through our infectious diseases, and those genus names resulted from first seeing them and grouping them based on what they looked like under a microscope. So the genus name can help you to sort of infer what shape and arrangement they're going to have. However, that doesn't mean that every single bacteria that is a chain that is coccus shaped is in the genus Streptococcus. So just keep that in mind, that the name can help you to determine sort of what you're looking for under the microscope. And then again, if you look over here, you can see Spirilla and you can see the Vibrio. Now the last thing we're going to look at is just relative size. So just keep in mind that when we look at things under the microscope, they're going to be very tiny. This is an E. coli as opposed to like a red blood cell, and these are viruses. Okay, so this is a Staphylococcus bacteria. So we're looking at something very small. Okay. So now that's the last thing I'm going to talk about in Lecture 3. In Lecture 4, we'll move on and get a little bit more detail about viruses and some eukaryotic microbes.